Welcome back to Narrations. The story begins with a feather. It floats gently through the air, twisting and drifting as if guided by chance rather than purpose. It moves past buildings, over streets, through traffic, until it finally lands at the feet of a man sitting on a bench in Savannah, Georgia. The man picks it up, curious but calm. His name is Forrest Gump. Forrest sits there in a neat suit, box of chocolates beside him, waiting for a bus. One by one, strangers sit next to him, and without hesitation, Forrest begins to talk. He doesn't tell his story because he wants attention. He tells it because someone is there to listen. My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And just like that, his life begins to unfold. Forrest is born in Alabama with legs twisted by a spinal condition and an IQ lower than average. Doctors tell his mother, Mrs. Gump, that her son may never walk properly, may never be normal, may never succeed in the world. They advise institutions, limits, lowered expectations. Mrs. Gump refuses all of it. She believes her son is no different from anyone else. She tells him, again and again, that he is not stupid, that he is just as good as anybody else, and that destiny is something you walk into one step at a time. To help him walk, Forrest wears metal leg braces. Other children mock him, call him names, throw stones. He doesn't understand cruelty, only that it hurts. Then one day, a girl lets him sit next to her on the school bus. Her name is Jenny. Jenny is kind where the world is not. She lets Forrest talk. She doesn't laugh at him. She doesn't see him as broken. She becomes his best friend, and quietly, the center of his world. When bullies chase Forrest, throwing rocks and shouting, Jenny yells the words that change his life forever. Run, Forrest, run! As he runs, something miraculous happens. His braces shatter and fall away. His legs straighten. His steps grow powerful. Forrest doesn't just run away, he runs free. And he never really stops. Years pass. Forrest grows into a tall, strong young man with a simple mind and a pure heart. His mother sleeps with the school principal so Forrest can attend a normal school, because, as she says, sometimes you gotta do things yourself. One day, a college recruiter notices Forrest running faster than anyone he's ever seen. Forrest doesn't understand why people are excited. He just runs because he's told to. That's how he gets into college. Forrest doesn't know strategy, competition, or ambition. He only knows how to do exactly what he's asked. He plays football. He runs straight. He scores again and again. He becomes a college star without ever realizing it. When reporters asked him how he feels about playing football, Forrest answers honestly, I just felt like running. After college, Forrest joins the army. At boot camp, he meets Bubba. Bubba is obsessed with shrimp. He talks about shrimp constantly: fried shrimp, boiled shrimp, shrimp gumbo, shrimp stew. Bubba plans to start a shrimping business when the war is over. Forrest listens, nodding, absorbing every word as if it's sacred knowledge. They are sent to Vietnam. The jungle is loud, wet, and terrifying. Forrest doesn't understand politics or fear the way others do. He follows orders. He carries his rifle. He writes letters home to Jenny, telling her everything he sees, everything he feels, even when he doesn't fully understand it himself. One day, the platoon is ambushed. Gunfire erupts. Explosions rip through the trees. Soldiers scream and scatter. The lieutenant orders a retreat. Forrest runs. But this time, he doesn't run away. He runs back. Again and again, Forrest charges into the chaos, pulling wounded soldiers to safety, one after another. He carries men twice his size, ignoring bullets, ignoring pain, ignoring fear. He saves almost everyone. Almost. Bubba is hit. Forrest finds him bleeding in the mud. Bubba is scared, crying softly, saying he wants to go home. Forrest promises him he will. He carries Bubba towards safety, but Bubba dies in his arms, whispering about shrimp. Forrest doesn't cry then. He doesn't know how. He only knows something important is gone. For his actions, Forrest receives the Medal of Honor. He stands in front of the president, smiling awkwardly, unaware of the weight of what he's done. After Vietnam, Forrest discovers he's very good at ping pong. So good, in fact, that the army sends him to play internationally as a symbol of diplomacy. Forrest becomes famous again, without ever meaning to be. During this time, he runs into Jenny in Washington, D.C. She has changed. Jenny is beautiful, rebellious, lost. She's searching for something, freedom, love, escape, but never seems to find it. Forrest is overjoyed to see her. Jenny is affectionate, but distant. She tells him she's going away. Forrest doesn't understand why people leave when they're unhappy together instead of staying. Back on the bench in Savannah, Forrest pauses his story. He smiles politely at the stranger beside him, offering a chocolate. He doesn't know yet that everything, love, loss, success, heartbreak, is still ahead of him. And that running won't always be enough to outrun pain. Forrest continues sitting on the bench, the feather long forgotten, his voice steady as if he's describing the weather instead of the strange, winding path of his life. After Vietnam, Forrest returns home a decorated hero, though he doesn't feel like one. He only knows he did what he was supposed to do. He visits Bubba's family, handing over the share of money he promised. Bubba's mother is overwhelmed, unsure what to do with it. Forrest simply says he told Bubba he would take care of her. He keeps his word. Using the money from ping-pong endorsements, Forrest buys a shrimping boat. He names it Jenny, because some promises don't fade, no matter how much time passes. At first, shrimping is a disaster. Forrest and Lieutenant Dan, his former commanding officer, now bitter and broken, catch nothing. Storms destroy boats around them. Dan curses God, fate, and the world itself. Then one day, after a violent storm, Forrest's boat is the only one left standing. The shrimp come in by the thousands. Forrest Gump becomes rich, again, without ever realizing it. He gives half the money to Bubba's family. The other half he doesn't really need. He invests in a fruit company called Apple because Dan tells him it's a good idea. Forrest doesn't know what Apple does. He just knows he doesn't have to worry about money anymore. Lieutenant Dan, once furious at being saved, slowly finds peace. He gets new legs. He laughs again. He thanks Forrest, not loudly, not dramatically, but honestly. Forrest goes home to Alabama and takes care of his mother as she grows sick. Before she dies, she tells him something important. That everyone has their own destiny, but sometimes we float through life like a feather, guided by forces we don't understand. When she passes, Forrest is alone for the first time. And then Jenny comes back. She arrives quietly, unsure, worn down by years of pain and searching. Forrest welcomes her without questions, without judgment. To him, she's always been Jenny. Nothing else matters. They spend time together, walking, talking, sitting in silence. One night, they sleep together. Forrest believes, finally, that his life has come together. But Jenny leaves again. Forrest doesn't chase her. He starts running. He runs across town. Then across the state. Then across the country. He runs without destination, without explanation. People follow him, inspired by something they project onto him. They think he's searching for answers, meaning, enlightenment. Forrest isn't. He's just running because he doesn't know what else to do with the pain. For 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours, Forrest runs. Then one day, in the middle of nowhere, he stops. "I'm pretty tired," he says. And he goes home. Waiting for him is a letter from Jenny. She asks him to come see her. Forrest arrives to find Jenny sick, gentle, calm in a way she's never been before. She tells him she has a son. His name is Forrest Gump Jr., and he's Forrest's. For the first time in his life, Forrest is afraid, not of war, not of death, but of failing someone who matters more than anything ever has. He asks Jenny if the boy is smart. He needs to know. Jenny assures him he is. They marry quietly. Simply. No crowds. No speeches. Just love, imperfect but real. Jenny doesn't have much time left. When she dies, Forrest stands alone again, this time holding responsibility instead of confusion. He raises his son with the same honesty his mother gave him. He listens. He shows up. He loves without condition. On the bench, Forrest finishes his story. The bus arrives. The stranger thanks him. Forrest smiles politely, as if nothing remarkable has been shared. The feather rises again, floating into the sky. Life, Forrest tells us, is both destiny and chance. We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose how we love. How we endure. How we keep moving forward. And sometimes, just doing your best, without bitterness, without cruelty, without pretending to be something you're not, is enough. If you enjoyed listening to this story, thank you for spending this time with me. If it made you feel something, hope, sadness, warmth, then Forrest's journey did what it was meant to do. Until next time, this is Narrations.